This is By the Byte, and today I'm going to be showing you how to do a chroma key in OBS to remove a green screen background. Now this will actually work with a screen that isn't green. I actually had paper hung up from the ceiling, just white paper, before I had my green screen, and it actually worked pretty well. The most important thing to do a good chroma key is to have even lighting across the surface of whatever you're trying to chroma key, so you want to make sure that your studio lights aren't pointed directly at the screen, but rather bouncing off the walls or through a diffuser to diffuse the light as much as possible. As you can see from my green screen, it's pretty rumpled and wrinkled, so the lighting isn't even across the entire surface, but I should still be able to get a pretty good effect just by doing what I'm going to show you here. So the first thing you want to do is go ahead and get your OBS layout set up how you want. So I've got my desktop here behind me with my OBS window in it, obviously, and then I've got my camera set up here in the bottom right corner. Then I'm going to select my webcam and go to Filters. I'm going to click plus, and then I'm going to add a chroma key filter. I'll call it chroma key 2 because I've already got my first one set up here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to mess with the color first. So you can either select just straight green, blue, or magenta. What I'm going to do is select a custom color, turn off the chroma key, and then hit the select color button. And then I'm going to pick a color with the screen color picker here. So I'll click pick screen color. And then I'm going to try to select some of my green screen background that best matches the entire thing. So I'll click right next to my head right there and select that color and then press OK. And as you can see, that's a slightly off shade of green there, not a true green, but that should be able to remove this background pretty well. Next, we'll turn the chroma key back on with the eyeball over here, and then we'll have to adjust the similarity slider one way or the other until we start to see me again. So as you can see, just by sliding it there, 61 got pretty close to what I'm looking for. I'm going to turn it up a little bit to try to remove some of the noise from the corners. It looks like 83 is probably a pretty good amount. I might turn it down just a little bit. And 77 looks like it'll be a good value for our similarity. Next up, we're going to adjust the smoothness. And I usually turn this way down when doing live green screening to try to avoid a bunch of the noise around my body and in the corners. And as we mess with our smoothness, then we're also going to have to adjust our similarity a little bit more from there. So I'll turn my similarity back up. And key color spill reduction allows you to get a closer approximation to the color, but it can also make your camera look fairly muted. So a lot of the blue in my shirt currently is being washed out. I'm going to go ahead and turn that value way down, and you'll see some of the blue slowly start to return to my shirt as I do that. And I usually like to keep this value pretty low as well. Opacity, I'm going to keep that at exactly 1.0, because as you can see, when I turn this down, then I just start to fade away. So in the case that I'm using here, where I just want myself directly overlaid over the image, I'm going to keep opacity at 1. And I'm not going to mess with the contrast, brightness, or gamma at all. I think that all looks pretty good already because my white balance has been set previously on my camera. And after that, we'll hit close. And as you can see, I'm now pretty well green screened. I've got a little bit of a green trail behind me because the tracking isn't perfect when trying to use your CPU in real time to do green screening. But this is pretty darn good for a real-time live green screen. So as long as I'm not waving around like crazy or anything, you can barely even tell that the effect is there. And that's pretty much it, guys. It is very, very easy to set up a chroma key in OBS. You can fine-tune your settings as much as you want to try to get the effect as good as possible. But of course, like I said before, the most important thing is to have not only your subject fairly evenly lit like I am under my studio lights, bouncing all around the room to try to get it nice and even, but then you also want to have your backdrop as even and smooth as possible across the entire surface. I hope you found this useful. Until next time, this has been By the Byte. Go ahead and get subscribed and click the bell if you'd like to see future videos from me. Leave this video a like if you enjoyed it, and feel free to leave a comment with your full thoughts down below. Thanks, guys.